What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android.
It's 1:38 right here in the studios of Freedom FM. It's time for Groundings. It's a Friday afternoon, so you know, on Fridays we have Groundings. Today is actually the 30th of January.
Really?
Yeah, 2026. So January is
Done and dusted.
over. I can't believe it. The year. I saw someone today and they said Happy New Year, and I'm like, but the year done old. Anyway, we have the usual panel here with us this afternoon. We have former Deputy Prime Minister and former Ambassador Sam Kondo. Welcome back, Mr. Kondo.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Pleasure to be here as usual.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And we have Dr. Patrick Martin, former CMO and advisor in the Ministry of Health. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Jamie, and to Sam, and to the entire Freedom FM family. Those in the in the house, and those listening and watching via the various media. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. So I see that we have quite a packed agenda this afternoon.
That's just a suggestion.
But as usual, we're going to start off with celebrations and remembrances. So, where do we start,
Sam
gentlemen?
is the resident expert, he knows everybody.
Celebration, maybe celebration.
Bollage.
We have no bollage, yes?
We did bollage last week?
Yeah, we did bollage.
Okay.
But you weren't here.
You weren't here, but...
So maybe you should, yeah.
Well...
Yeah, we did bollage last week.
Good.
Yeah.
I join you in that one.
Okay.
Okay, so we're on remembrances. Mr. Brown from...
Former pharmacist.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
yeah, Mr. Bone, yeah.
Stalwart of 4th Street,
Yeah.
reliable.
City Drugstore. A household name in St. Kitts.
Yes.
You know, go by Mr. Brown at City Drugstore.
And
you'll
he
get what you
listened
want.
to Freedom FM quite a bit.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yep.
So any other
Also,
remembrances?
I'm forgetting his name. But Cherise at the sports department, her father died. He worked in the park. Somebody's going to send me his real name. I was a groundsman in the park. I only know him as Cherise's father. So,
No, not sure.
yeah, his name escapes me at this time. Yeah, those are just the only ones I could come up with.
Okay.
Yeah,
now,
any?
I think a remembrance and somewhat of a celebration we can look at the Buckley's Uprising.
Of
This
course,
week
of
we
course.
celebrated we commemorated 91 years since the Buckley's
35.
Uprising in 1935. I realized that the government also put out a notice that as of 2027, the date will be commemorated as a national holiday. So I think it's always important to mention the Buckley's Uprising, because we know that led to a movement which started right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but led to a movement throughout the region that assisted with workers' conditions, not just workers' conditions, but living conditions throughout the region. Some people try to make it a small little thing, but I think it was indeed a momentous occasion, and we need to look at that, and we need to remember the persons who were injured and the persons who lost their lives standing up for us, so that we could live the life that we live today.
On that fateful day, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, particularly the people of St. Kitts, braved the full force of the colonial government to demand their human rights, better working conditions, and by extension, better social conditions. 3 died. 14 were injured due to gunfire. The uprising spread through the St. Peter's into Keon, and then throughout the rest of the island, and from St. Kitts. The uprisings spread throughout the Eastern Caribbean. There was a report done by the UK colonial government called the Moyne Report. The Moyne Report was designed to find out why these Negroes, quote unquote, had the audacity to stand up. It was finished in 1939, but not released by the colonial government until 1945. Why? The colonial government did not want to release it during World War II and allow the Nazi Germany to use it as propaganda. The thinking was this: we're fighting Nazi Germany because the Nazis are bad people, anti-human rights, blah, blah, blah. You don't want the Nazis to say, well, look, you're treating
And
people.
somewhat racist.
Right? And so the report was put on ice until 1945. And it was a damning indictment of the social conditions of the day. Some of the descriptions of the town of Bastia are nauseating. The kind of conditions people lived, human beings lived. And so that led to a number of other events, and the culmination of universal adult suffrage in 1952, when for the first time our grandparents and great-grandparents had the right to vote for their own representatives. Now, we in health and also in education, but I'll stick to health, we can trace from the decisions made in 1952, we can trace the advancement in health and education and in the human condition because of persons elected, nominated, different parties, and the policies and programs that they put in place from 1952 to now. And so we owe a debt of gratitude to those of our people who risked everything. Sam and Jamie risked everything to stand up and march for improvement of their human lot. So we stand on the shoulders of the participants of the Buckley's uprising, and they deserve their holiday.
Definitely.
I'd just like to add a couple of things to that. I think that was a comprehensive
No, it's
overview. But
it's an appetizer for you.
the land and housing, we had the establishment of the CHA, the Central Housing Authority, because the housing conditions were terrible.
Terrible.
The lands at that time, 95% of the lands were owned by 5% of the population. In fact, I mean, as we talk about the SSZ at this time, during that time when we had the problem with the land and the sugar industry was under pressure, we had in Nevis some 334 families were given lands of up to 10 acres. In St. Kitts, the number of families got land in St. Kitts under those conditions were 11. 334 in Nevis, up to 10 acres of land. In St. Kitts, there were 11 families. And that all came out of part of that situation. Another thing that came out of that situation was the legalization of trade unions. Before that, it was illegal to form trade unions, and the Morning Report and the British government allowed the legal establishment of trade unions. And so in 1940, we had the establishment of the St. Kitts Nevis Trades and Labor Union. So, we have a lot to thank those folks. In 1935, three persons lost their life as well. We must mention that. I think one was John Allen and Mr. Archibald and some other one, three, I think. And so it's time that we, I want to commend and congratulate the government for taking that step in recognizing the contribution that had made to our development and to naming it as a public holiday from next year onwards.
I've seen written somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong, that the bravery of those persons, men and women, inspired Marcus Garvey. And so he came to visit in November 1937.
Yep.
And made that powerful speech at the MIS Hall in Lower Market Street. And one of the quotations I like is this: "Make your country your Garden of Eden."
That's right. Yep.
Make your country your Garden of Eden. Jamie, any reflections on the January 28th, 2027?
Well, I think I gave my reflections already. I'm happy that going forward, it will be a national holiday. I had a program on Tuesday where we spoke in depth about the Buckley's uprising, and we look forward to seeing a monument as well, because I think, I did not learn about the Buckley's uprising in school. And many people have that same story. And I think it's important for us to teach our children about where we came from, where we are, and how we got where we are, right? And not only that, but to teach them that we had a spirit. We were people who had a spirit who would stand up against injustice. Because I think sometimes you hear comments saying, I don't know what kind of slaves petitions were or whatever, because they never stood up for anything. But that's not necessarily true when we look to history. So I think it's important for us to keep this within the conversation, not just in January, but throughout the entire year. We need to remember the Buckley's uprising.
Yeah. I love a quotation I always use from Washi Archibald. For any people, history is the foundation on which a nation is built. History is what connects our present generation to our ancestors. Very important. very important, very important. And it tells us who we are as a people, from whence we came, and any attempt to erase our history is an attempt to reduce us to less than a people, to degrade our identity, to return us to nameless slaves.
Definitely.
The teaching of the Buckley's uprising and the antecedent conditions will be part of the school curriculum.
Yep.
That decision has been taken.
Yeah. Which is like
very, very
It's
important.
a part of the curriculum. It's a part of the CXC curriculum now, but it's an option. So many times teachers choose not to teach that option because people claim that they can't get, information and that kind of thing. So they opt to teach another option, right? But it's important that we not only wait till high school, but the little children, they should be able to tell you what the Buckley's Uprising was and the significance.
Fantastic.
All right. And you see, this brings out the ethos and the spirit. That's what motivates us.
The spirit of who we are as a people.
Absolutely.
I have family who are not Kittitian, and I often hear them talk about their story with a sense of pride. I hear about the revolutions and that kind of thing, but many of us don't speak about the Buckley's Uprising like that. We don't have that sense of pride. We don't have that sense of ownership, and I think it is because we feel disconnected because we don't learn about it as children. It is not something that is passed on. So we don't teach our children about it necessarily, right? And I think with the holiday, that presents the perfect opportunity to have that discussion, have those conversations with your children.
I hope people don't think the holiday is the jam and wine,
Well, that's going to happen too because,
It takes all to make a nation.
That's going to happen too because we're going to celebrate in various forms, right?
But the rest of us will celebrate, commemorate appropriately.
Yes.
And we'll probably have some interventions about some of the other persons who before and since Buckley's
Definitely.
who have made stellar contributions.
And it opens the door to the conversation about why the living conditions were so deplorable, right? So it takes us right through our history.
Sam referenced that 5% of the people own 95% of the land. There's a story that the Bradshaw government wanted to establish a health center in Old Road, and the landowners down there pushed back, and eventually yielded and gave a couple of square feet for a health center. You know what they did? They planted cane right up to the fence.
But look at even how our people lived. Look at even the various settlements, the villages, how the villages are near the guts, practically in the guts, right?
Yeah.
When you look at that, that's because of that same thing, that 95% owned 95% of the land.
We have some statistics to show how what's the word I'm looking for? How bad? No, I'm not looking for bad. I'm looking for another word. Devastating. The social conditions were. Around that time, in the colony of St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla, we lost one child per day died before their first birthday around that time. So that is the acid test, the measure of your social conditions, your infant mortality. And children were buried. There's still grandparents around and great-grandparents who remember that. Children were buried in yards and cane fields, and women delivered children in cane fields. And so we also have to hit up the Pogson family, Sandy Point. Because of that, they were moved to donate some land, some property land and property for the construction of the Poxton Hospital. Yeah.
And that is why that the Bratcher government went back to, in 1975, on the day of the Buckley Uprising. That is when the Bratcher government went to Buckley's estate to acquire all the land of the people. And I'm going to read you a short quotation from the speech in 1975.
See if you could imitate.
No, can't do that. No. We are gathered here this morning collectively to make history by assuming the greatest responsibility which could fall to a people, namely to take over by law absolute ownership and control of all the really productive land in this isle of our birth for our mutual benefit and for the benefit of our posterity forever.
So that was the St. Kitts phenomenon. But as you quite rightly said, in Nevis, the ordinary people were owning land
before
six decades before. Right. And so
I'll tell you, yes, 6 decades before. In the 40s.
And so on a Saturday, on the Bay Road from the Treasury right down to the market. Nivision vendors.
Yep.
So so Nevis was the bread basket of St. Kitts, especially the best part of Nevis being Gingerland, because the planters
That
didn't.
seems a little biased.
The planters did not. They were so concerned. Well, sugar was king, so they didn't allow much. They allowed some estates, some planters more than others, allowed people to grow crops to feed themselves.
That was in the dull season. In the dull season.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, that happened in the dull season.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. But in terms of food, produce, that came from Nevis.
These conversations are very important within the context of what's happening now.
Exactly.
With the conversations
Exactly.
about land ownership and who should own land and who should not own land and all of those things. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that conversation this afternoon.
Let's do the segue now if you want.
Before that, I want to touch on.
But I just want to say, I just want to repeat that is 334 families own lands in Nevis. Up to 10 acres, I'm telling you about. That is
A lot.
I'm telling you. I mean, this ain't a thing.
I just want one. Just 1 acre.
Yeah, up to 10 acres. 334 families. The equivalent in Nevis were 11. In St. Kitts, 11.
Yes.
10 acres, you say? No,
Up to 10 acres.
It's a lot.
Let's do a reference. How much is one a park?
When I hear people talking about Kitties and want to put Nevision at the back of the bus, I don't understand what they're talking
need to
about.
stop. It's not nice.
I mean,
By the way, the same thing happened in Anguilla, in terms of enabling a government enabling people to own, to get title to their land.
These people trying to throw Nevisions under the bus.
Okay, but before we get to that, I want to. We're on celebrations, so I want to celebrate Dwyer Astafan, who celebrated his birthday earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday, right, Mr. Kondo?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yes. So, Mr.
How many?
78.
Only that? Right, still looking good.
That's what he said.
It's 78 or
78, not
28.
8. No, 20,
Oh, yeah, but
it's
he's
either 78 or 28.
He said 78
Not
during
out.
his commentary. So we want to remember him today. And I'm certain that he continues to celebrate. He is a contributor to Freedom FM. He provides a commentary here each and every Wednesday. And every time we call him for groundings or issues or whatever, he comes. I call him for all legal opinions. Right? So I guess he's Freedom's lawyer. As well, I hope he's not listening. Unpaid. I was just about to say, I hope he doesn't send a bill. But, I'm
invoice in the mail.
yeah, well, to Freedom. But I am honored and I am thankful for all that he has contributed to not just freedom, but to myself, because I call him for advice on many, many, many different subjects.
I know.
And he's always happy to give me the advice and provide me with the assistance. So thank you, Mr. Estefan.
There's no more prolific commentator on matters of state,
National
government,
interest.
history, economics.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with everything he says. And he will take it on the chin when you call him. All right? Take it on the chin when you call him. And for those persons who don't know, he was a cricketer. You know. He wasn't too bad. It's a left arm
He was a
spin.
footballer too, yeah.
I don't remember seeing playing in foot. I don't remember seeing him play
He
football.
was the way he was. He played with Basil Henderson.
Oh, okay. I know he's going to call, message us and tell us the size of Warner Park so we could get an idea of what 10 acres of land per family is like.
But as we speak about Dwyer, you know, I want to, you know, just briefly, I had the honor of kind of being in the cabinet with Dwyer.
Kind of?
Yeah.
He was out, no, you weren't outside in the ad. No. That reference doesn't apply to you.
Yeah. And we sat next to each other. We had a very close relationship. And Dwyer has always been a man who looks out for the national interest of people. You know, he had this social conscience. In fact, even before that, maybe I should go before that, because it's funny that we're speaking here on freedom, owned by Junie Liebert. Because when Dwyer was approached, I mean, this is a story that will come out. He's writing his autobiography, and I don't know if this can come out, but...
So you're going to preempt him?
You know, I mean...
No, he's making sure it's in.
when he was asked to run, the other person who was asked with him is Junie that same time. And there was some conflict, there was something, there were things in the Labour Party about, you know, whether Junie or Dwyer, and lots of things happened. And from that time...
What stance did you take?
Dwyer.
Who did you support?
Dwyer.
Okay.
Dwyer.
Skin color was in the mix, you know.
All of that.
I think it's still in the mix today.
All of that.
Let's put that on the table,
I think
right?
it's
Skin
still
color
in the
was in
mix
the
today,
mix.
because whenever you hear discussions about the commentary, that always comes into the conversation.
Yeah.
We in St. Kitts and Nevis, right? So we have to put that on the table.
Dwyer, and we have had that relationship. In fact,
He has go ahead.
Dwyer, when he came to the government, he said he was only going to do 2 terms, and by my insistence, he did 3. I encouraged him publicly and privately to do the extra term.
So this third term thing started before.
Dwyer decided early when he came in. He said 2 terms.
You notice I said third term thing.
Yes.
Started before.
Not Tim, right? Thing is thing.
Thing.
Man, talk good now, man.
Thing. I'm saying
I know when
thing.
you got
Third.
tight tongue. Third term, Tim.
Okay,
Thing.
gentlemen.
Started with you.
So, Mr. Condor, you were the one. You were the culprit.
Yeah.
Have you-
And he, like I said, he has been always there, whether it was whatever the issues were. He took his stand boldly in terms of the interests of the people. You know, from land for debt swap, the over at the Southeast Peninsula, the SSZ, whatever it is.
The CVI.
Spoke his mind. He spoke his mind.
Yeah.
Spoke his mind.
So
Yeah.
I'm proud to
78,
call
you said?
him a friend.
78? 70,
That's what he said.
78?
I
Okay.
think so. Could be a little less. I mean, I don't know.
So, happy belated birthday, Mr. Estefan, and I am certain that you enjoyed your birthday and continue to celebrate.
I could hear the next.
Continue to celebrate.
The next commentary is greetings. Many of you called me, and I thank you. Now,
Now let's get to business. Yes. So, thank you so much for your contribution over the years. So, gentlemen, we're in the main discussion now.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go.
Okay. You want to touch on CFBC?
Oh, what a wonderful piece of information. The CFBC Coding and STEAM Society, that's Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, copying the top regional honors in a prestigious coding competition. Their project developed using the Aspire program, created a digital platform that teaches young people how to invest. And I heard the ECCB Governor Antoine talking that in our economic union, it's only about 1 in 25 persons have investments, compared to 3 out of 5 in more developed countries. And we have to move it from 1 in 25 to 1 in 20. So 1 in 5, from 1 in 25 to 1 in 5 within 10 years. And that's a good thing. Congratulations to the CFBC team. The members are Josiah Davis, Framer de la Cruz. Boy, our demography is certainly changing. Framer de la Cruz, Nathan Lewis, and Nick Hale Dorr. There are some youngsters at CFBC and the Nevis Sixth Form. And when it comes to coding, computer software, you just have to bow to it. They have this thing in their DNA.
Definitely. I recently hosted the St. Kitts Robotics Association. They were here recently speaking about a workshop being put on for 5-year-olds, right? And for me, that sounds so exciting because can you imagine those children in 10 years? They'll be absolutely amazing, right? So we're small, but we are doing great things in STEAM.
Yeah.
It is clear that the size of a country has nothing to do with its power in terms of intelligence. That's clear.
But I mean, we have had that reputation, in St. Kitts and Nevis.
And our size may be an asset in this because our classes remain relatively small, so we can train our people effectively. Right, because if you have a class of 100 based, versus a class of 20, you'll be able to offer those resources easily.
I just said that. I remember the debate when we were trying to get the Sadler School. I mean, we were trying to get the money from the World Bank and the CDB and so on, and they wouldn't give us to say how much we put in that school. The teacher, students, they said we don't have this anywhere else in the world. And I remember Mr. Petty and his group, they did an excellent job to convince them to invest in the Sadler School. They were saying that this thing goes far beyond education. It has to do with our social thing, keeping our children engaged and so on and so on. This has to be more than, economics. This has to do with social and other issues. And so that's
okay. So the Warner Park is about 16 acres.
16. Okay. So, so people in Nevis
Kenny.
had 10. I had about 2/3 of that in that. So back to the point about the reputation. This links back. This links back to the Buckley's uprising because universal access to primary, secondary, and latterly post-secondary was triggered by Buckley's.
That's right.
And so the value, the power of education was instilled very, very early in our families. Very early in our families. And so there's, you're right. I mean,
we see it all over the world. Anywhere Kittitians go. I mean, in fact, they had to finish with the Leeward Island Scholarship because it was becoming a St. Kitts Scholarship.
And
a St. Kitts Navy Scholarship.
I'm not privy to the thesis produced by Petty and others, but it is clear that where you put a high school in an area, the socioeconomics of that area improves. Improve within a generation.
That's the argument that they were making. That the social conditions there were so.
And that school is
Yeah.
doing extremely well.
Yeah.
It is doing
I
extremely
mean,
well.
They had a team
I
go
mean-
up to Washington
Yes,
sometime
yeah.
last year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I credit Mr. Petty and his group. I mean, I was there when you see the work they put in.
The Washington Archibald High School also went on that
Field
trip
Okay.
to Washington, and those are two of the newer high schools. Washington Archibald High School wasn't around when I was in school.
I mean,
And having that high school over at Sadler's, adds to the inter-high school competition, whether it is in sports or in arts or carnival. I understand the talented teen was one of the best ever.
yeah. I mean, even the location of the school, those people, it was carefully selected, I mean, those people put in real work in that Sadler school,
And I could tell you about the playing field next to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There was some talk. There was some
Absolutely.
talk, that for the Stanford 2020, that Sadler's rank, the Sadler's field ranked very
Absolutely, yeah.
highly in terms of a place to put a pitch.
The location, the terrain, the everything. I mean, Sadler school is...
Sam, you would enjoy playing football in it.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's a lovely place to run. I mean, in your case, walk. You don't want to walk on.
Anyway, gentlemen,
Move on.
but before we move off of that, because what I want to say, the STEM people, right, use the Aspire program, and that was killing
Two words.
two birds with one stone, because it's not only being a technicality, but the culture of investment that we have been trying to develop for people, savings and investment. When we're trying to get people to invest in national bank, and we haven't caught on as a people in terms of.
So we're catching on now because we start.
and I understand that there are some new investment opportunities that are coming on board.
on the Aspire.
Not just Aspire,
That's
but
the
on a regional level.
Oh,
We're
oh,
supposed
regional,
to,
but
they're
I'm talking
supposed
about
to
St.
launch
Kitts.
in St. Kitts
Yeah,
shortly.
yeah.
I
They
think
have-
there was a launch in Grenada.
The Prime Minister,
sometime
Minister of
last year.
Finance has reduced the amount that anybody could invest in treasury bills and that kind
Yes,
of thing.
yeah.
To facilitate that. I mean, like I said, the Aspire program is something like to do that. But there are other programs that are being used to do that. And
Yeah.
I think that the STEM people who could do that, could do a program to facilitate that, is just excellent. It is doing two things. It is increasing the technological thing, but it is also increasing the
Promoting.
I think the Prime Minister Prime Minister Drew has said this, so I could say it, that we in health are using the STEM folks, STEM culture to roll out some software platforms for the management of healthcare.
Yeah.
And from what I'm seeing, what is being done here in St. Kitts and Nevis surpasses, rivals what is being done.
No,
in the out-
surpasses.
Because it's
surpasses.
homegrown and it's culturally appropriate. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
it
Thank you for that, teacher.
surpasses.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
So, gentlemen, this week, Dr. Martin, I noticed you spoke about, you noted one press conference, but we actually had two very interesting press conferences on Tuesday. We saw the press conference, the final quarter press conference put on by Samal Duggins, the Honorable Samal Duggins. We got updates on his ministries. But that same morning, we saw the monthly press conference put on by the Premier of Nevis, Mark Bradley. And he revealed some very interesting information. He revealed that the proposed Destiny project, which falls under the SSD legislation, had been signed and sent to
Signed by
St.
him.
Kitts. Yes.
Signed by him.
Yeah, signed by him, and sent to St. Kitts on December 23rd. So we are awaiting
He said he's waiting a speedy reply.
Yes.
I don't know how speedy that will be because he sent it on the 23rd. He said, I don't know if he sent it. He said
He
understand
said
it was
he
sent.
understands
Yeah,
that it was sent on the 23rd of December.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that stood out in my mind, remember Olivia Johnston, he in a podcast or interview said that he wanted everything squared away before the new year. So we're 30 days in. On the Nevis end, it had been signed and sent to St. Kitts. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, it either ain't reached St. Kitts yet.
It hasn't reached St. Kitts as yet.
Well, I don't know because, I mean, that the speedy thing is went on the 23rd of December. Today is the 30th of November. And,
Of January.
Of January. 30th of January. And,
Speaking futuristic.
and
In the past.
yeah. So I don't, and you're looking for a speedy reply. So I don't know what that is saying. Either it hasn't reached yet, or it will not be signed.
No, Mr. Brantley had some choice words for Kittitians who want to discuss this topic. He said that many Kittitians are being hypocritical. That was one of the words that he chose. He said that there are many who are against the project because they feel that the project would put Nevis ahead of St. Kitts, and Kittitians don't want to see Nevis ahead of St. Kitts. He said that many of the people talking right now did not call for Nevis's fair share as it relates to the CBI program, so he really does not want to hear from Kittitians on this
I don't know what
matter.
he's saying. Well, Mr. Brantley was in the cabinet, right? That, in fact, the Charleston Accord was really his thing, you know. He was the architect of that. And he was in a cabinet that was supposed to be overseeing that. And nothing happened for 7 years. When he was part of a cabinet and he was looking over the Charleston Accord for fair share, which he established. I don't know how much Tim and Sean and Vance knew about that. But after 7 years, there was nothing. So I don't know. I don't understand why he's complaining.
I do not accept any notion that any one part of the Federation does not want to see the other part move. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis have become so integrated. Just look at what happens when there's an event. Just scratch the surface of persons on either side and see if there's a difference in the blood or the genes.
But
So
is
that
it fear for us to? Is it fear for Kittitians to comment on this?
Yes.
And do you feel that? I'm asking because the Premier seems to feel like it is not in our place to comment on
That
this.
is the Premier,
right?
That is always the Premier's mindset, you know. That's the Premier has always feel. So the Premier was one of the most rabid secessionists, you know. The Premier was one of the most rabid secessionists that I know.
We haven't really heard
So
talks about
if
secessionism.
you know, we are members of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, and if something of economic social import in Antigua is important to me,
But this is not the first time we've heard these comments from Nevis, because we've also heard that Kittitians need to stay out of Nevis's politics. You've heard these comments.
Yeah, true.
Right?
But true, but
so my thing is it really fear for us to sit in St. Kitts? And I'm not saying that it isn't, but is it fear for us to sit in St. Kitts and make these decisions on behalf of Nevisians? And do you feel that Kittitians have been more vocal in criticisms against the Destiny project than Nevisians?
No.
no. But let's go back. I mean, who is making decisions on behalf of the people of Nevis? This act was passed in the federal parliament with contributions from those who were there persons on both sides of the pond. This matter is a federal matter because of the sustainability notion. We told the world several years ago, two years ago, that the Sustainable Island State Agenda is our platform for growth and development in this country. All right? And we market that to the world in hope of attracting investment jobs, good jobs. All right? So that's a federal approach. Okay? So the resort to insularity is inimical to that spirit. And the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are so intertwined now. I gave the examples. You know, when there's an event on either island, whether it's food fair, agricultural exhibition, festival, 35 fetes during carnival and 15 fetes during culture wrap. So the divide and rule is not going to work. So the matter is now at the federal level. And from what we were told, how the Prime Minister is handling it is through an advisory group, a wide-ranging advisory group made up of persons from within the Federation and persons and groups from within the Federation and outside. Right? And so we await the findings and recommendations of that advisory group, because we have to await. Rome was not built in a day. And this thing has to be done properly. It has to be done on sustainability principles, which mean putting regard for the environment, the planet, and people first, above all other considerations. Yeah. Was the environmental impact assessment done, and was it done properly? Was the social impact assessment done? Was it done properly? Was the cultural impact assessment done? Was it done properly? So my reading of the Prime Minister's approach is that it's a systematic, scientific approach to his government's assessment of this project.
You see, this discussion, that is why I suggested to the Prime Minister a long time ago that we need to look at the Constitution again, the constitutional arrangement that we have. I keep going back to that all the time, because that is the basis, you know. What is fair about this Constitution that we have? You have a government for Nevis, and you have a government for St. Kitts and Nevis. The mention of St. Kitts in our Constitution must be twice.
That many?
Well,
you got to show me that, because I can't find it. You show me.
Yeah. I mean, what is fair about it? What is fair about the boundaries?
But Mr. Konda, when you say one, say two. The government, the administrations gone by did not seem to have constitutional reform as a priority, and we're not seeing it as a priority now either.
I am saying,
be honest,
I am saying that
right?
is the basis. We have to settle those things. We have to discuss them and settle them. We have to discuss them and settle them. What is fair about Nevis having the right to secede, but St. Kitts doesn't have a right?
I think Nevis is smaller.
I think the constitutional reform thinking is always taking place at the people level.
Well,
it has not blown up, so to speak, at the political level, but we don't have to wait for that.
We always hear about constitutional reform.
We have to formally put it.
We don't.
We have to formally put it for this discussion.
I agree with you, Dr. Martin. A lot of times the people are the ones who are pushing it. Yes, you hear politicians mention it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't nothing seems to come out of it. And I remember having an interview with the premier a few years ago. And he said, well, with all the problems and all concerns about the Constitution, nobody has even attempted to change a full stop.
That's not true. Have
there been attempts?
Oh, you mean?
Green paper.
Not only the green paper, but we had during our time in Parliament, we had set up a constitutional and electoral reform commission. I chaired it. Dwight was on it from the government side, from the Labour Party and government side, as Patrice Nisbet was on it from NRP. The late Gishard was on it. We held meetings across St. Kitts and Nevis. Went over to Nevis for meetings. There were public discussions on this.
And what came out of it?
Not much, but there was something, and we have to continue that. I said to the Prime Minister the other day that the constitutional talks, the report from the constitutional talks, that is something that should be printed, reproduced, and circulated. Every sixth form student, every CFBC student and sixth form student must have it. Every fifth form student, circulate it among the NCOs and all of those. I mean, this is the discussion we need to talk. Otherwise, we're going to have the premier talking these things all the time. We have to settle these things. We have in place of strife. That's a document that has not been fully discussed yet again.
I think it's remarkable that we're having this discussion in the throes of a new world order.
Yep.
When the viability, survivability, sustainability of small states is under attack.
Yeah.
We played the clip from a member of the Trump administration who clearly said, hey, it's about force, strength, and power. In this hemisphere, we are the top dog. And we are going to face that as St. Kitts separate from Nevis, separate from the rest of the OECS, separate from CARICOM. I don't. That's a non-starter.
Exactly.
So we have been put on notice, and we knew this a long time. Now we have to go to a Republican status, a republic, right? And I think that is going to be the genesis of a more formal constitutional reform talk, and coming out of it, now that we have more movement, more integration of the economies of both islands, definitely the society, I think, and with the young people we have, I think we're going to come up with a fantastic constitution.
Yeah.
Some of us old fogies, but perhaps have to be less. The young people are going to fix it for us.
Okay. So you mentioned the New World Order. So I think that's the perfect. Well, do we want to go on to the New World Order because it's 2:29?
Well, let's do that quickly let's do that now because. On Groundings, we continue to insist and say that St. Kitts and Nevis exists. We are an open economy within a dynamic world. Since January 1, 2 heads of government of major trading partners of the Federation have gone to China. First was Mark Carney of Canada. And this week was Sakir Starmer of the UK.
And
the head of government of China didn't come this way, They went.
Right.
And Carney was quoted as saying that China is a more reliable partner. It's time.
He said more than he said the instability in the world order.
Now, what kind of message are these
The
two?
instability.
Yes.
This is Canada and the United Kingdom. These are traditional friends of St. Kitts and Nevis and in Eastern Caribbean.
Yeah.
Why are they hustling to China?
Because we have somebody in the White House who threatens tariffs
Yeah.
based on what he dreamed the night before.
That's right.
Right? We have somebody
Absolutely.
in the White House who is saying, we'll take Greenland by will or force.
Yeah.
So how do you see that person as a reliable partner when they tend to change their stance or policies based on whether this one is hot or not? How?
Jamie and Sam, Sir Keir Starmer is not given to verbose talk.
No.
But he said at a press conference in Beijing, quietly, hey, yes, there's, military actions and blah, blah, blah. But and bottom line is the cost of living faced by your people. And China, with its massive labor market, has the ability to produce certain goods that your people can afford. Bottom line.
That's where you go.
Bottom line. And so I know our people are paying attention to that. And no insularity talk is going to distract our people from the fact that there are things happening in the world that we have to hurry up and adjust to.
No man is an island.
So, gentlemen, let's take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll hear from the callers.
Reliable, dependable. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
Every day we're faced with choices. To spend or to save. To delay or to stay on track. It's discipline that shapes our future. Because discipline means making the choice today that pays off tomorrow. Remember, discipline, choice, pays. A message from the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Have you heard that Mind, Body, and Soul is back?
Yes, Mind, Body, and Soul is back on Sundays at 4 p.m. only on Freedom FM, hosted by the inspiring Julie Charles. This is your go-to show for thought-provoking and uplifting conversations. Every Sunday, dive into topics that nourish your mind, body, and soul. From wellness tips to personal growth to deep conversations, Julie brings you the stories that inspire change and spark reflection. Don't miss out. Tune into Minds, Body, and Soul on Sundays at 4 p.m. and let Freedom FM guide you to a more balanced and inspired life. Minds, Body, and Soul on Freedom FM Sundays at 4 p.m.
What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom Apper today.
And we are back right here on Freedom FM. It's Groundings, and we don't have much time left. So let's go straight to the phone lines and take your calls. Good afternoon. Welcome to Groundings. Okay, I'm not hearing that one. Let's try this one. Good afternoon. Welcome to Groundings.
Good afternoon, Miss CEO.
I'm not a CEO, but go ahead.
You must say so.
That's what he said?
Leave
Yeah.
that one alone. That's outside the off stuff.
That Jamie is now.
He said it in public?
Yeah, on the radio. Ask the two advisors there.
Y'all didn't hear him, didn't it?
No, I didn't
Sylvian
hear it.
imagined.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I feel like you imagined that.
No,
Maybe not.
let me get to the holiday. That the Labour Party cannot be trusted. Mr. Kondo, who's sitting down here, announced when Kim Collins won the World Team. August 25th will be a holiday. You remember that one? Answer, Mr. Kondo. Was it ever?
I could give holiday, Miss Henry. You know how government works.
Mr. Kondo said August 25th
That was your personal
will
opinion.
be Kim Collins Day. And
Kim
it's a
Collins
holiday.
Day mean is a holiday. King's
That's why
Collins
I
Day
say you
name,
cannot be
sir.
trusted. Then you come to the box. Let me get to the box list, because I am from Smith Village. He was representative for how many years? You have this, and every year I used to attend all the time, right? Oh, we are going to get a monument and all kind of foolish thing. Nothing done. They said, the unit said they were going to purchase a portion of the land on which to build it and execute. They cannot be trusted.
Okay, but Mrs. Henry, we heard this year the announcement from Cabinet that going forward the day will be commemorated as a national holiday.
Let Mr. Kanda answer for August 25th.
But
No,
he
the
just
election-
did. He just said that he never said it would be a holiday. He said it would be Kim
All
Collins Day.
of us getting old, so our memory slipping.
I find y'all being a little feisty this afternoon.
No. We're village people. I'm a village person, right? We're sick and tired of it.
Of what?
They are the ones who went
But
and stole the land.
Mrs. Henry, with respect, you must admit that this is a step in the right direction.
Which direction?
I understand.
Going nowhere?
I understand the frustration because I too understand that we've heard about a monument for a lot of years.
Thank you. And they
Right?
went
I
forward, they went
understand
forward.
that. But I am happy to see a national holiday. At
You know
least
when
we're
that
doing
happened?
something.
You would have had 2 full holidays in January.
Okay.
So the commercial sector.
But it has already happened.
Not what?
Okay.
Okay, the point is that it
Let me continue.
has taken long.
Now, there's a
Quickly.
question to be made. Because you see, Mr. Khan's memory is slipping. All I was getting old, I am 77. I sure he idiot like me. Anyway, the thing about the voting thing, it was not related to the Buckles uprising. There was a 13-week strike which they refused to discuss and acknowledge. That led to the promise or whatever of giving us adult suffrage. It was granted in 1950 and it was activated in 1952. The facts are there. You understand? A lot of what they say, they're not going to do it. Imagine you say you're going to build a monument and turn around and sell the whole land. Sell the land.
Caller, wasn't the 13-week strike over the payment conditions, whether by the ton or by the line?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh,
So Buckley's was about...
You did not know.
Buckley's and Buckley's led to the Moyne Commission that was about universal adult suffrage and other
the
things.
one with the union, it was when the commission came to St. Kitts and they learned that union was illegal. then the man who was the head of the Labour government union, federation, whatever, he lobbied for it.
Okay, Mrs. Henry, thank you so much for...
No, wait.
Thank you.
Oh, you're not finished. Okay, quickly, because I have another call coming in, okay?
Yes. Now, they cannot be trusted. Now, imagine that Dr. Drew got the post in December. Dr. Martin sat down there this afternoon, and the children was keeping around him and was making excuses.
Excuses.
All the time we were told, oh, they ain't hear nothing, they're working on it. And all the excuses given this afternoon by the panelists, the two of them, but just it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Okay, Mrs. Henry,
You
thank you.
understand? So I'm saying, and all the years, Mr. Kanda is not honest. The SIDF, listen to me carefully, Mr. Kanda, before you quote me, started in 2006. The labor was in until 2013, 2015. The matter of Nevis Facia was always a part of the discussion. It did not start with Mark. Mark was the one who pushed it forward, but it was the other time.
Do you want to withdraw your statement that people on the panel are not are dishonest? Do you want to withdraw that?
I called doctor.
Don't waste your time.
Kanda didn't say you.
Don't
okay. We're offering you an opportunity to correct the record.
All right, you want me to correct it?
Don't waste your time.
I know what I know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't waste your time,
All right.
People want to call you. Don't waste no time.
The excuses given this afternoon, right?
What she knows.
The excuses given this afternoon.
All right.
So just
I'm not even
it has to
listening.
go to the board. Why didn't we know that they had it?
Okay, that is a question that we will ask the Prime
When
Minister.
it comes
Okay,
next.
so because I can't answer for the Prime Minister, and I don't think anybody here can answer for him.
I know, but
So the last comment made by the Prime Minister right here on Freedom FM was that it will go to the ad hoc committee. That was the last, and it has not gotten to the ad hoc committee as yet, right? So we'll ask him.
A whole month gone?
I don't know. We'll ask him.
All of us, we got to be.
We'll ask him.
Let me tell Dr. Martin before he will give me a lawyer.
No.
Dr. Martin, please don't give Miss Henry a lawyer.
No,
He ain't gonna tell him. He ain't gonna give you no lawyer. But we have to go, Mrs. Henry.
No.
Wonderful. All I'm saying, Mr. Kanda is the one who said August 20 people in college.
Okay, we got it.
Okay,
we heard that.
Next year going to be a holiday. Next year going to be a holiday. Next year.
No, man. No.
Okay.
Why should we believe that?
Next year is going to be a holiday.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I understand your point, but we're gonna be hopeful.
Okay.
Go
ahead. Next year is going to be a holiday, Miss Henry.
Okay, we gotta go though because the lines are going up.
I'm going to put a lawyer in if it doesn't happen.
Everybody understand their own book.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, Jimmy. Good afternoon, Sam and Dr. Martin.
Hi, good afternoon.
No, I sat down there listening to Miss Henry. You see why politicians sometimes treat us the way they want to treat us? Because sometimes they bring something forward and instead we appreciate it and say, well, all right, it was long in the making, but at least they try something. She had to go all around Nevis and come back and say this and say that. Come on, it's about time we move forward and leave those things behind. I appreciate at least they acknowledge that on the 28th of January, going to be a holiday. You hear what they've been saying? Oh, they don't got 2 holidays in 1 month.
No, but not only that, she says she doesn't believe that it's going to happen.
Okay, but
so,
okay.
my thing is, I can't argue and tell anybody what to believe, right? So we'll see in January 2027.
I'm happy, at least we start somewhere. I'm looking for the monument next.
Yeah,
thank you.
Me too. I'm looking for it too, and we'll continue to look for it.
And freedom will carry every event their life.
Definitely. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon. I have a question for Mr. Kanda.
some shows ago, he mentioned a situation with Newton Ground Football Club and Hard Times Football Club.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there was any further developments with that and what the progress is like. I listen off here.
Okay, thank you so much for that call. Mr. Kondo,
Any
did you
update on
provide an update last week about that?
No, but we should have something next week about it. There still have not been fixtured. And so that's something we're going to be looking at, because we believe that is kind of, not right for communities to be left out of the football association thing. So we're looking at that.
Okay. So let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You are live.
Good afternoon, Jimmy.
Good afternoon, Mr. McMahon.
Yes. With regards to the national holiday to commemorate the Buckley's uprising, I think it's a really good gesture, and I hope we'll soon have the much talked about monument following. Okay, there has been some discussion as to the number of public holidays we have. And maybe we can consider moving National Heroes Day from where it is to this new date that was announced. Because after all the participants in the uprising were heroes and heroines in their own right. So it would be nice if the monument is erected in the National Heroes Park and everything is celebrated on that one day. Okay? The thing is, when it started, Buckley's estate is now under private ownership. That is why I'm thinking about the monument being erected elsewhere. Don't know how that was allowed to happen after all the land was nationalized.
Absolutely.
Certain estates were exempt.
Not Buckley's, though. Not Buckley's.
Right.
Buckley's was actually sold.
Yeah. Buckley's was not exempt.
It was actually sold.
Buckley's was not exempt. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think that
was sold before the act came into
No,
it was sold recently.
It was nationalized.
It was nationalized.
And then it was sold.
Yeah.
The government sold it then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Our government sold it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that really should not have been allowed to happen.
Absolutely.
Bearing in mind, it was the nucleus for
I think it was sold in 2013, somewhere thereabout.
Okay.
Right, because it was the nucleus for Caribbean-wide movement. It should never have been allowed to happen. Okay? It's kind of unfortunate that we've lost a lot of the militancy and so on that we had. I remember attending a regional meeting in 1993 around the same time as the disturbances on Church Street. And one of the Caribbean delegates remarked that if it's one thing about Kittitians, they don't stand for nonsense. But I think we have been victims of our own success over the years. The two organizations that were mostly responsible for a lot of that success were the Trades and Labor Union as well as the Labour Party. And both are now basically shadows of their former selves. Okay? And the thing is, after being almost unique in the Caribbean in terms of land ownership, okay, because the government, we were successful in wresting the land from the plantocracy. And it's unfortunate that we now seem to be engaging in a kind of a creep up where foreigners now come and buy up our land. Okay, and so we should be very careful that our leaders are not complicit in that. Okay, it will be a step backwards, disguised as investment. So we have to watch it because there are other models of good investment that was occurring in the country before things like Destiny.
That's right. That's right.
Right. Frigate Bay, Christopher Harbour.
That's right.
And this Destiny thing is a whole different kettle of fish.
Absolutely.
Right? And very controversial.
Absolutely.
And so we should be careful.
Absolutely.
About voting it. Okay?
Before you go, what do you think?
Uh-huh.
What do you think about the assertion that because you live in one part of a nation, you should keep your voice out of? Okay.
I dismiss that totally, because after all, right? I mean, apart from the family connections and so on, right? This is something, I call it the St. Kitts card, that comes up every time an election is impending or when certain politicians, short-sighted politicians, want to use an issue to get his way with the Nivisian populace. They bring up the St. Kitts card. It's totally disingenuous. And I don't think, well, I'm hoping that Nivisians won't fall for it and look at the bigger picture, bigger issues that are involved. Okay? Because, and the thing is, what's interesting is that the Premier used the project that is ongoing at Fort Thomas to say, well, people talk about town hall meetings and consultation. You had any consultation or town hall meetings when they decide to give the concessions to foreigners to build that project down at Fort Thomas? And he said he did the same thing with other projects like Kissichan Hill and Christoph Harbour. To me, when you use those kinds of arguments, you're just defeating the whole purpose. One would have thought, bearing in mind the apparent bromance between the Prime Minister and the Premier, he wouldn't throw the Prime Minister under the bus like that. But that's what he did, because he is all gung-ho for that Destiny project, and come hell or high water, by any means possible, that project, as far as he's concerned, is going to go through. So we'll wait and see how it plays out, because there is this narrative now that with or without the support of the Prime Minister and the Federal Parliament, Nevis can go ahead with this project regardless. And that's going to be an interesting test. Okay, then.
Okay, I want to make a quick correction. I guess I said the word signed. I said that the Premier said that it had been signed. It has not been. He did not say it was signed. He said it was approved.
By the Nevis Cabinet.
Yes.
That's right.
So I just want to make that correction.
Yeah.
It has not been signed. It has been approved.
How does one at the government level signal one's approval?
I have never been in government. Maybe you should ask Mr. Konda. But yes.
Use a pencil, Sam? Use a pencil to
No, just approve. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Yeah. And you could state your objections, but cabinet is a collective responsibility. So once it come out, even though if you want for it, it's come out as the cabinet approving it, and you would think, but you could register, you could ask the cabinet secretary to record that is your position.
Okay, so gentlemen, we are practically out of time, but I wanted to share this clip with you. And I wanted to share this clip with you, so we're going to share the clip, and it's 1 minute long, and yeah.
Nevis Island government has had a number of engagements with the public, a number of stakeholder meetings, a number of town hall type meetings. We have met with everybody, and we have reviewed, we've negotiated, and we have just late in December sent it over to the federal government to indicate that we are satisfied with the proposed agreement, and under the relevant law, it is for them now to sign off on it. It's, of course, a Nevis project. It's not a St. Kitts project. So there is relatively limited involvement from the federal government end. But the law does prescribe that the federal government, because of the nature of the development, that they have a role to play. So we are actually waiting now on the federal government. It is in their hands now. But I spoke to the developers just today, and they are ready to move. They're ready to move. They're saying the minute they get that go-ahead, backhoes and shovels in the ground. So it would be a significant... Nevis Island government has had a number of engagements with the public, a number of stakeholder meetings.
Okay, so that is the clip.
Yeah.
It has been approved. And this clip is from the Premier's radio program, On the Mark. So it has been approved. It has not been signed off on.
What, I don't understand. You mean it's been approved, it's not been signed off on? What's the difference?
I don't know. The person asked for me to make a correction, I'm making the correction.
That it was not signed off on?
I don't know. We'll ask questions, right? But we only have a few minutes left. So at this point in time, I'll ask you, gentlemen, to provide your wrap-up, your closing remarks.
Well, thank you, Jamie, Sam, and to the listeners and viewers for your contributions. Again, to another wonderful afternoon exploring the issues that matter most, the geopolitical issues and economic issues of the day. You know, we are a nation of laws, and the SSZ Act says in Section 7, subsection 1, a development agreement, for example, like the one involving Destiny, a development agreement shall be ratified by and contained in a law passed by the National Assembly of St. Christopher and Nevis. And if the area is within the island of Nevis, also by the Nevis Island Assembly. I would like to end this way. There's a quotation, you can look it up. If you are not at the table, you're on the menu. This has been attributed to a number of authors. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. I use this quotation to invite us all to pay attention to global events, regional events, national events of social and economic import. We pay attention to each other, in the OECS especially, because we are served by a single currency whose strength is dependent on our exports, and our principal export is tourism. I'll close by saying it's track and field time again. Support the young people, all ages, all classes, all genders. Support them, continue to support them on both islands as they display their God-given talents. Thank you very much, Jamie, Sam, and to the listeners.
Okay, Mr. Kondo?
Yeah, Jamie, I'm thinking that, and Patrick, this SSZ, the Destiny Project, not the SSZ, the Destiny Project is a defining moment in the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis. What I hear coming out of Nevis from the Premier is going to test, really, that's what's happening, test the future development of St. Kitts and Nevis as a federation. And we are not going to have a situation again like this constitution that we were, this transactional constitution that was brought into force to bring St. Kitts and Nevis together. This is going to be a far wider and more deeper discussion about how we're going to go forward as St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay. Gentlemen, I am awaiting the Hosford spin to win, but I realize that, well, I am being chastised because I did not read some comments, right?
Chastised?
So, yeah. So somebody sent this to Junior and he forwarded it. The person said, do you know that Dr. Douglas sold the land where the new businesses operating to the owner in 2014, when the push for the monument started long before that. Okay, that's all I'm going to read about that. Because I think we mentioned that
The land was sold.
Yeah, the land was sold.
Yeah, it was sold.
I think we
In fact, Jamie,
mentioned that.
Washi had a article on it, which I still have.
But I mean, for a monument, we don't need a huge amount of land, right? So I am thinking that a section of the area
that is what the
could
debate
be
is talking
identified
about. That is
for
what
that,
the government is
right?
engaging, yeah.
Somebody else says you can always tell when a division politician's back is against the wall, or when they're slipping out of favor with the electorate. They reach for the oldest, latest trick in the book, blame St. Kitts.
Yeah.
Let's be clear, this is not new. This same tactic was rolled out in 2022, and now with public confidence clearly wobbling again. Blaming St. Kitts does not fix roads, it does not lower the cost of living, it does not create jobs, it does not answer the question about governance, transparency, and delivery. There's a lot more to that, but yeah, Lord, man, these comments... They're too long. Somebody says Mrs. Henry was not completely wrong. The land was sold. I think we agree to that.
That's clear. That's clear. We know
right?
that. That's public knowledge.
So somebody else says, well, I for one looking forward to my holiday.
Not to jam and wine.
They didn't say for what,
okay.
right? So they didn't say
we have to do
for
a
what.
we have to do a calculation one of these days, probably with Peter Adrian, of the cost of holidays in terms of GDP.
Yeah. And in fact, I just want to say...
Listen, some of us just miserable. Listen.
Yeah.
Some people just miserable. Because no matter what happens, they're going to have a problem. We are happy for their holiday. Yeah. And Mr. McMahon, with all due respect, we want a monument in the National Heroes Park.
At all.
We want it at Buckley's.
At Buckley's.
That's a singular event. That's a singular event.
We want it at Buckley's.
It's a singular event.
And we want National Heroes there on the Buckley's Uprising holiday.
No.
Those are two very different things.
But you could still look, because one of the things, when we introduced National Heroes Day, we had taken back a holiday, I think it was Queen's birthday or something like that. So you could
we don't need to be celebrating the Queen's birthday, but you know.
So maybe you could look at a holiday that doesn't have the same impact and significance and importance, but you can't put it on.
We don't need to take back no holidays.
Okay.
We're good. Right? We're good. Because you know what they're gonna look to take back? One of the religious holidays, like with Monday or something like that. We're good.
I'm willing to argue the National Heroes thing. So.
You can't join up National Heroes Day. You can't do
Buckley's
that.
Uprising Day.
I'm willing
and
to
we
argue.
want a National Heroes Day.
Yeah.
We don't want them together.
You can't have them together.
I think I better get a lawyer.
Because it takes away from either National Heroes Day or it takes away from the Buckley's Uprising.
All ideas must contend.
They're contending, but we say what we want.
Not that one.
No. And we don't want it.
But it's contending. But we say what we want. They want that.
Look, Jamie,
I'll bring it up next
I
month.
have the whole article here written by Washi. When the thing was sold, the present rumor is that Buckley's Estate Yard is for sale and the government continues there with its possession. Buckley's Yard is no ordinary place. It is sacred ground, sacred to the memory of John Samuel, John Allen, and James Archibald, martyrs whose blood was spilled in the struggle for human rights and justice from the white people who rule this land. It's a whole article. I mean,
publish it, because the current owners should give it back. Conscious above self.
I don't think that's going to happen. But this is how we're going to end Groundings for this afternoon. The Hosfords folks are ready. Thank you, gentlemen, for choosing to spend your Friday afternoons with us. We look forward to having you back here next week, Friday, and beyond. Thank you to all our callers. Thank you for all of you who chose to spend your afternoon with us. Coming up next, we have Hosford.
Get back more from the triple cashback stores only at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store.